Admiral Reed stared at the holographic display as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. His weathered face remained impassive, but his knuckles turned white as he gripped the command console. Earth's colonies were under attack, again. "Status report," he demanded, voice steady despite the fury building within. Commander Liz glanced up from her station. 7 colonies hit simultaneously, sir. The Vex Alliance is claiming this as a necessary pacification of our border worlds. Reed's jaw tightened. For centuries, humanity had played by the rules of the Galactic Concord. They'd been patient, diplomatic, and restrained, qualities that had earned them nothing but contempt from the older spacefaring species who viewed Earth-born humans as dangerous curiosities. Deathworlders, they called them, creatures born on a planet so hostile that it had forged them into something the galaxy found both fascinating and terrifying. Casualties? Reed asked. Preliminary estimates suggest 30,000 civilians, Liz replied, her professional tone slipping. The Vex targeted residential districts first. Something cold settled in Reed's chest. Initiate Protocol Omega. The command center fell silent. Everyone knew what those words meant. For 200 years, humanity had kept its true military capabilities hidden, developing technologies and weapons in secret while presenting a deliberately weakened front to the galaxy. "Sir," Liz said carefully, "the Council has not authorized." "The Council is 3 weeks away by fastest courier," Reed cut in, "and I have 30,000 dead civilians. Initiate Protocol Omega, now." On the Vex homeworld of Alderaan Prime, High Commander Tull was celebrating. The operation against the human colonies had gone precisely as planned. The primitives would soon sue for peace, accepting restrictions on their expansion and technology development. "The humans have responded, High Commander," his aide announced. Tull gestured lazily. "Put it through. I look forward to their surrender terms." Instead of a diplomatic channel, however, the communication came through on an emergency broadcast frequency. A single human appeared on screen, older, with silver-streaked dark hair and eyes like frozen steel. "This is Admiral Reed of Earth Command," the human said without preamble. "You have attacked civilian populations across our colonies in an unprovoked act of war. The Vex Alliance has 1 hour to begin full withdrawal from human space and present terms for reparations." Tull laughed, genuinely amused. "Or what, human? Your ships are outmatched and outnumbered. We've studied your capabilities extensively." The human's expression didn't change. "No, you haven't." The transmission ended, leaving Tull momentarily confused before dismissing it as primitive bravado. Humans were known for their emotional outbursts. Precisely 59 minutes later, Tull's confusion turned to horror. The galaxy had rules about warfare, rules that limited destructive potential, rules that prevented technological arms races, rules that kept conflicts civilized. Earth had publicly abided by these restrictions while preparing for the day when following the rules would no longer be an option. That day had come. From hidden shipyards throughout human space, vessels unlike anything the Concord had seen emerged. Ships with hull configurations that made no sense to standard sensor arrays, propulsion systems that ignored what the rest of the galaxy considered immutable laws of physics, and weapons that had been theorized but never implemented by species who considered themselves too enlightened for such brutality. Reed watched the tactical display as the First Fleet revealed itself. His personal vessel, the Retribution Asterisk, led the formation toward Vex space. "All ships report ready, Admiral," Liz announced. "Ghost protocol active. Their defense networks still show no awareness of our approach." Reed nodded. "Send the final warning." On 12 major Vex worlds, the skies darkened as human ships appeared without warning, having bypassed the sophisticated detection grids that were supposed to be impenetrable. On Alderaan Prime, Tull stared in disbelief at emergency reports flooding his command center. The humans had somehow projected military power directly into the heart of Vex territory, an impossibility according to every military theorist in the Alliance. "High Commander," his aide stammered, "we're receiving a transmission from the human vessel in orbit." The same human appeared, expression unchanged. "Your hour is up. You chose not to withdraw. What happens next is on your heads." "This is madness," Tull shouted. "The Concord will." "The Concord has failed," Reed interrupted. For centuries, we've asked for equal protection under its laws. Instead, our people were deemed acceptable casualties in your political games. No more. The human paused, then added, "We aren't destroying your worlds, though we could. Instead, we're dismantling your military infrastructure, precisely, surgically. When we're done, you'll understand what it means when Deathworlders stop playing nice." The transmission ended, and seconds later, orbital defense platforms across Vex space began to explode in perfect synchronization. News spread faster than light through the quantum communication networks of the Galactic Concord. Within days, every species knew humans had been holding back drastically. In the Grand Chamber of the Concord, Ambassador Tom stood before representatives of 500 worlds. His message was simple. Humanity joined this Concord in good faith, believing in its principles of mutual respect and protection. Those principles were not extended to us. We have demonstrated a fraction of our capabilities in response to unprovoked aggression against our civilian populations. He paused, looking around the chamber. We do not seek domination or revenge, but from this day forward, attacks on human worlds will be met with overwhelming force. We will no longer pretend to be less than we are to make you comfortable. The Vex Alliance has been neutralized as a military threat. They will not be the last if this pattern continues. As the ambassador returned to his seat, a profound silence fell over the chamber, the silence of a cosmos suddenly realizing that the creatures they had patronizingly called Deathworlders were in fact exactly as dangerous as their homeworld had forged them to be. They had just stopped playing nice.